Hello, and welcome to Let Jaime Talk. I'm Jaime, joined with Ben, as always. Brett is in the back with the shortest mic cable ever, and I got my great friend Jono with me today, who is our special guest.
Hey, Jono.
So, what's up, Jono?
Appreciate you being here. Oh, and Knox, I forgot to mention.
Oh, yeah.
His dog right here, which is he's hiding right now under the black table. But it's a girl. Is it a girl?
It's a girl.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
She's still half asleep. So.
She blends right in with the tablecloth. Yeah.
Personality will come wake up here in a minute when pour some caffeine on that dog.
Man, I wonder if they can hear the rain.
I can hear the rain. I bet you might hear a little bit of background noise here today. It is raining pretty hard here.
It's been raining for a month.
Dude, we live in a wet place. This summer anyway, it's been extremely wet, right?
It has been, yes.
Makes it hard to mow the grass, huh? I'm supposed to go mow grass today. You know that? I got like 5 yards to mow today. So I'm going to read you the forecast. Read you the forecast. It is showers followed by thunderstorms, and then that's going to be followed by showers. And then after that, gusty winds, and then shortly after that is small hail.
Oh, good.
And some more wind, and then 100% chance of rain.
Maybe the wind will dry the grass
I should have been a weatherman. They're really driving it home on the forecast today.
I think you would have made a good weatherman.
Oh, Jono, well, I know you had to get up early, man, and I appreciate you doing that for us.
Yeah, it's before work time. It's rough.
I know. Not just anybody is willing to get up and do this with us, so.
Just me and Arlo so far, I guess?
Yeah. That's
you
right.
Arlo. That's
I feel privileged.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of the Perkins Builder Brother fan club that is very interested to learn more about the Jono mystique, as we've called
That's
it.
I mean, don't blow up his horn too much.
No,
we're just going in age descending.
No.
There's no mystique.
We're going in descending age. Oh wait, no, we're not. Jason's older than you, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you get all the unanswered questions by Arlo?
I mean, he answered a lot of questions we didn't ask, if that's what you mean. No, I'm just kidding. No, we did. I mean, of course, there's always more. There's always more than we have time or right questions for, but
we'll have him back someday.
He's dying to come back.
I bet he is. I thought you guys might have just gotten through one question.
No,
we're going to try to get some van footage.
The little van remodel thing.
Yeah, if you didn't know, Arlo's dream of having a van that he can like live out of or travel or what, I don't even know. Jono's into the van scene.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about that later.
Well, maybe not van, but we'll get there. We'll get there. A bus. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, today we're gonna get into talking to Jono about how he got involved with the Perkins Builder Brothers, and then we'll get a little bit more in depth and see, about his life, childhood, all the way, through, I don't know, till adulthood. He hadn't made it to adulthood yet. He just turned 50. So there's a lot of years to cover there. I don't know if we can do it all, but we'll try. But yeah, we're just getting warmed up this morning. Jaime spent all day yesterday at a rainy graduation ceremony.
That's right. Yeah, I had a pleasure of actually texting with a bunch of our members that view the channel there, and I was sitting under a tent watching the rain, watching all my sound equipment get rained on. Yeah, I had covers, luckily, of course. You got to plan for the rain, but it was a long day. I was there for about 15 hours, just sitting in one place at the track and just getting rained on the whole time, even through the ceremony.
Yeah, I thought about you a couple times.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Well, I thought about your equipment at least. Thought about your equipment. I was like, oh man.
Well,
I know I can't believe they didn't move it inside, but
they really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And it's because,
obviously,
for people that don't know, the graduation outside is unlimited seating, basically. And inside is in the gym, and they have only maybe 4 or 5 passes per student that they let your family, only. So it's really limited. They don't like that. Yes. And it's hot and sweaty and it smells like a gym in there. So
yeah.
And they care too much for their floor.
Well, the floor is pretty important,
Yeah.
So
with the chat, we did it on, you were able to do a chat with first live chat on Patreon.
That's
with
right.
Our Patreon members.
I didn't
that was
even
pretty
know
fun.
how to do it, but you taught me how.
I did, yes. Well, I at least got you in there, and you were able to communicate, and so
that was pretty fun. I got to see some pictures of some projects and stuff.
Yeah,
that some of our people are doing. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff.
It was.
I was impressed.
Yeah. So you have a couple more graduation ceremonies lined up, yeah?
I do. Yeah, I've got one today. So when graduation season hits, it hits hard. Everybody wants to graduate all at the same time. And, they're running short on sound guys.
No.
It's kind of a weird thing to be a sound guy. Like there's this not like common. And it's just not a real interest that people have. Although I got to say, Jono, I should have set Jono up to do this one that I couldn't do because Jono is, I don't want to speak for him, but he's a music lover as well.
Yes, that's true.
And he has worked on some stages and festivals. You want to tell us a little bit about your experience?
I worked at a local festival in Black Mountain, Leaf Festival, Lake Eden Arts Festival.
Leaf?
Yep, Lake Eden Arts Festival. And it raises arts and brings awareness about music all around the world. But yeah, I was a stage manager and got to work with musicians and set up and enjoyed that.
Bunch of cool bands.
I could still be a kid and actually be responsible at the same time. So,
Is it like diverse, like cultural, different types of bands, or was it like American rock bands or bluegrass?
No, it was from different tribes around the world, like from Africa.
You mean like real tribes?
Like real tribes, like first time they'd ever been in the United States, probably first time anybody's heard that type of instrument.
Cool.
Like they had drums that you had to put water in, which is something
What?
I'd never seen, that were made out of hemp rope and
Dang.
some kind of wood. Like it was pretty bizarre stuff to actually help somebody unload something you had no idea what it was. But yeah.
They still do that festival?
It's scaled down quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think after the pandemic, they started not bringing such big name bands, but they're still doing it.
Yeah. I'm having a vague childhood memory that maybe I went there once when I was a kid. Maybe my parents went and I was a little kid. I don't even remember.
It's at Camp Rockmont. Do you know? Have you ever heard of that?
No, I've not
It's
heard of
a
that.
boys' camp, so you might have gone there. But,
Rockmont? Okay.
but it's a beautiful, beautiful. It's a beautiful spot.
All right then. And you got to do like a bunch of stage setting up the bands, talking to the bands, getting them prepped and ready and all that.
Making sure they had what they wanted while they were sitting back and waiting, and making sure they had any kind of backline if they needed drums or
Yep.
a bass amp or whatever they needed. We set it up for them.
Jono will hook you up. Sweet.
That's sweet. Yeah. I mean, I'll keep him on my list of the short list of sound guys.
I do love live music.
Yeah.
Or concert goer. Yeah.
He does go to more concerts than anybody I know. I'm actually jealous of that.
Yeah.
Because if I go to do music, I'm working, and he goes to have fun.
Yeah, but when you go to a concert, are you really listening to music? Or are you looking at the speakers?
He's looking at.
I get highly distracted. I will admit.
I bet you Jono's the guy that still leaves his phone in his pocket when he goes to concerts and doesn't.
Do you live in the moment, or do you live through looking at your screen the whole time?
No, I can't stand that.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty sad.
Because who's actually going to go back and watch that, or who's going to post that, or if you can listen to the music through a stereo, what's the point of having it on your phone?
I don't know. You may as well just watch it on TV.
Yeah, but if I can't make everybody jealous that I was there, why would I even go?
But I'm not jealous because you're standing there with your phone in your hand.
I have you seen those things? Maybe it's on Facebook or something where it's like a comparison of like people in high school, like in the 90s, and it shows like random videos of people in the halls and in their classes and the lunchrooms cutting up, or maybe in the courtyard. Nobody has a phone. Everybody's just talking, hanging out. And then it shows like, nowadays, and it's like everybody literally just staring at their phones, not talking to any of their friends or anything. I think, it may be exaggerated, of course, for those videos, but it's not far from the truth. I saw one for concerts like that where, it was like maybe the 90s, like some kind of like Pearl Jam concert or something. And then, versus now, and all it is people holding their phones up like with their flashlights or
trying
video.
to capture it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no more girls standing on guys' shoulders. There's nothing like
There's no
that.
more
Like,
mosh pits.
There's no mosh pits. It's, everybody needs
What has
their
happened?
space.
What has happened to us?
Right. I don't know. Everybody's turned soft.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to work out a little bit more, so,
Didn't see you at the gym this morning.
No, I wasn't there.
I wasn't there either. I slept in. I had to.
Yeah. Well, let's, this past week has been a whirlwind for a lot of people in this community, especially, the Builder Brothers crew. And, we'll talk about the elephant in the room, I guess, just a little bit, just to make sure all of our listeners know. If you didn't see the post that Eric put out on YouTube, we shared it on Patreon. But Brock passed away last week.
Yep.
Actually, before we were going to have him on as a guest on the podcast.
Right. Yeah, so it is extremely tragic, and we're all still just reeling here in really disbelief. I halfway expect to see Brock when I show up to the job still. Mm-hmm. It's really sad. And we go up there, his machines are there, everything, the house that he's been building, and, his wife, Alexis, and his daughter, Emmy. I've been talking to them a bit, to Alexis, and, she's having a hard time, and understandably,
Oh yeah.
So just give us a little bit of grace here as we kind of navigate through, the implications of all this, and trying to be supportive to his family, as we also are trying to continue to build their house.
Yeah.
Alexis is still, building this house. This thing is going to continue, and that's what she's wanting from us, is to continue to build it. And so that's what we're doing.
I guess it's sort of hard to not do that. How do you, how do you just stop and have a half-built house,
that doesn't seem like a good option, and that's not something that she is wanting to do. So, yeah, like I said, we're just doing our best to do what she wants and keep the house going. And she's continuing to remind me of the things that Brock wanted in the house, and she's pushing for those things, for it to still be what they wanted together. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm doing my job as always, just trying to coordinate everything and get all the people together and make the work happen. Yeah,
he was such a, he was on the job site a lot, during this, 100 episodes into this. And it's like, he was almost part of the crew.
I think that's what makes it so difficult, is we've never had a homeowner that actually put so much work and effort into their own site.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And was there on such a daily basis.
Yeah.
He's just a blue collar guy like the rest of us. And I think that, him being close to age with us and knowing what it takes to do that type of stuff, as opposed to a homeowner that's from out of state or somewhere like that we don't see that often.
Right.
We really had a good friendship and a kinship, and
that's
what makes it difficult for us. Like I choke up just driving up the driveway. It's just thinking about it.
It's definitely more than people perceive, I think, from it just happening and being a tragic accident. It was just, I think it really cut deep for everybody.
Yeah, and he was very well known in the community. He was a self-employed business owner of multiple businesses with his family, from wedding venues to heavy equipment operating. He has the wedding venues with his parents as well, and rental houses. And he's from this area, Bryson City, Cherokee. And it seems like they know everybody, apparently.
Yeah.
Or everybody knew him. And even last night at the graduation, I was talking to some of the teachers that had him in school, some of his coaches from high school and football, and all that. So we had a pretty good conversation.
I guess he used to race four-wheelers when he was younger.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. I just learned that through reading his obituary.
Okay.
Which is out there if anybody wants to, learn more about his life and legacy a little bit. But hopefully I'm able to go listen to some stories about him if I'm able to attend the memorial service that they have set up for him. So, but so super sad, and I don't know what else to say about it.
I don't know what else you could say. And so he was a great guy. He will be greatly missed. And he had a lot of confidence too, this guy, in himself, but he wasn't cocky.
Right.
He had a good, humble confidence, if that's a thing. And he didn't ever seem to get bothered by anything. And it's just like he could make a decision in an instant and go with it without ever second guessing himself. That was one of his qualities that I thought was really cool.
And drive an excavator off a cliff.
Yeah. On purpose.
I don't think people realize that episode, how steep that bank is.
Yeah.
That he
had the confidence of an old man. Like, It's been through it.
Yeah, been there, done that. No big deal. It's like a 45-degree angle.
What? And then I remember on one episode, didn't he like bear hug one of those like big posts and
He did.
like pick it up and
20 foot 6x6 that was wet and frozen, and we couldn't get it in place, and he just hugged it and
just picked it up.
beasted it into place, and we're all like,
Yeah.
wow.
That was
I think you offered him a job.
one of the comments I read, which is it was just interesting to think about, because his little girl and is going to grow up without her father or without knowing, her father. But what's going to be cool is that through the YouTube channel, like those videos aren't going anywhere. So like one day she'll be able to like look back and see some stuff, more than just photos.
Oh yeah.
That'll be neat. So even if you took all the little clips out,
That's right.
of Brock, I'm sure there's more like B-roll of Brock than there,
He's in there quite a bit. He actually
Yeah.
liked being on camera.
Yeah.
Some people don't really take to it and do anything possible to avoid being on the camera on the Builder Brothers show. And but he was always excited to get a chance to have something to say or something that he could do on camera. And I don't know if we ever announced it, but he was going to be on the podcast. I can't remember if we had said that or not, but he was planning to be on the podcast here with us. And he was really excited about that. And so I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, it was actually the morning that I was prepping for the last week's podcast is I had posted a question to Patreon, with a spoiler alert that, hey, Brock is going to be a guest. Mm-hmm. What questions do you have for him? Mm. And that was before I knew he had passed. And a few guests had or a few of our patrons had come back with questions like immediately that they had for Brock. So I think a lot of people were excited to have him and ask him some questions. But man, we'll miss out on all that good insight.
Yeah, it's very sad. But the community is rallying. I can tell you that as far as offering help at the job site. Anything and everything from finishing the grading and doing boulder walls and even people offering to come help us work for free to come and be on site, carrying boards,
That's awesome.
Things like that. Any and everything that you could imagine that needs done. There's people stepping up and offering, to help. So that's encouraging and it's going to help us get through.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So,
well, I think we're going to move into our, talking to Jono here and
we didn't
figuring
bring him
more
in here
about
for nothing. I mean, he
Figuring
looks
out more
good
about
sitting
him.
there, but
Yeah.
come on now.
I mean, with that dog for sure. She's making him look good.
She's like, no.
She's like, I'm moving out now. All right. I'm sorry. I'll give you a heads up next time I'm going to talk about you. John, I want to start off with learning about how you got, started with, the Perkins Builder Brothers, I guess. And because, are you the oldest member of
No, Jason.
crew? Okay, Jason's the oldest
Repeat,
member.
Jason
That's
is
right.
old.
Jason's older.
No,
No,
well,
but the
as far
longest
as
standing.
longest,
Oh,
as far as
okay.
length of
I'm their
time.
longest.
Yeah.
I've been with them the longest.
Gotcha.
so.
That's what
Yeah.
I was going for. Yeah, not oldest in age.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
I had
No,
to
I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that.
throw
Yep.
Jason under the bus again.
Longest standing member.
Yep, that would be me.
And how long is that now?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know. People think I keep track of that kind of stuff.
It's going on 8 years.
8 years, yeah.
In July.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Which house was it? Do you remember, Jono?
It was James and Sally's
Yep.
out on Barker's Creek,
That's right.
which we overlook from Brock's house.
Oh, yeah. That's right. It looks straight across the valley towards Barker's Creek.
Gotcha.
Yep. James and Sally. Remember them well. She was a principal, I think, at a school, and I don't know what he did, but Jono came in on that one. I think from the start of the job. It was pretty early, was it?
No, you
Was
guys
it
had already
midway?
had quite a bit done. The garage was already
Yeah, I
up.
can't remember anything about it.
No, you had a guy working for you. It was in a band, and he was going to go
Oh, yeah,
travel. And his son and his buddy worked with you guys.
Oh,
You
man.
had a bunch of misfits.
Well,
when I started.
we had some struggles.
I wasn't sure about you guys when I got there.
Are you now?
Yeah. But yeah, I got there and you guys wanted me for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And you guys
We
hired
lost
me.
track of time, a couple weeks, whatever, 10 years.
I think Eric offered me full time after the first day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, yep, I'll do it.
That's good. Well, we've been glad to have you over this length of time, and hope that you're going to stick around with us a while. You know, we still got a lot more stuff to build.
I mean, I saw Arlo's retirement. It was pretty sweet.
It was.
Yeah.
You know how old he is? Have you checked?
I got a long way to go.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we got a lot to do. We got so much to do. Oh, man.
Retirement. Talking about retirement already, Jono.
I'm getting old.
Dude.
What's your favorite part about, not necessarily working for the Perkins, but just being able to do construction every day, or at least 4 days out of the week?
For me, it's just working with these guys and just like I'm the only one that stresses at work, I feel like, and that shows stress. So these guys are never stressed. They never worry. So I do that. And so that keeps me grounded sometimes. But I think just going to work and being outside every day and getting to do something that we're good at and doing it with people that you enjoy being around. Like I hate punching a clock or being responsible for being 3 minutes late. Like I've had those types of jobs.
Yeah. And you were a part of the crew before the YouTube stuff started. So, has it, you feel like it's changed a lot, or is it just,
It's changed a lot. Jaime doesn't work as often.
I don't do anything anymore. All I do is call
calls.
people.
You know it's important, but no, I think it's gotten a lot better. I think just the quality of work. I think for everybody is they try to push their quality. I think everybody just, with the sponsorships and the perks that we get, I think that just helps make the job easier.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We've always tried to do a good job. But I think there's a little more pressure when every inch of it is filmed the entire time you're building it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We try to bring our best game every day. Well, I feel like we always have, but I do think we have we have a saying that we tell every customer that their house is the best house we ever built. And it's true. It's true. It's true because, no matter how many times you've done this, I think you learn something each job.
Right.
Maybe something that, I wish I would have done that different, or I wish I would have used more Lexel. And so every job we try to take those improvements and incorporate them into the next one, and we try to make every house the next best house that we built. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know.
Yeah. Jono, do you have a favorite house that you've worked on?
Modern Mountain Getaway was pretty fun.
Yeah.
These bigger houses I'm not too big on, but that Modern Mountain Getaway, I like the concrete floors.
Okay.
Polished floors, the heated bathroom floor. There were a lot of custom handrails and like the sliding door for the bathroom. There was a lot of neat little things that went into such a small space.
Yeah. So you're a detail guy.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Big soaking tub, gigantic window.
Yeah.
That was a cool little house.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorites.
That's a very cool house. It's the only one that we made plans for because people that watched the episodes liked it so much. There was a demand for that house plan, and I think my brother drew it and made it available.
Oh, really?
I think it's in a link in one of the videos, or maybe all those videos. There might be a link in the description to be able to purchase that house plan or something. Which I don't know I don't even know if we sold any.
Well, yeah. What years? How many years ago was that?
I don't know.
I think you did
4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was a way cool house, though. Everything. There was nothing about it I didn't like. It was cool. The scale of it was good.
Well, and it was flat.
and it wasn't
the whole
green.
yard was flat.
Yeah.
It wasn't green.
It wasn't green.
Was the house green?
I don't remember. What
Was
color
it
I think
black?
it was dark. I think it's like a
Had
charcoal.
I know it had evolved stone around the bottom of it.
I just remember because
It was
it was the
sharp.
first house. It wasn't the Perkins green that you guys
Oh.
did for like 8 years.
Oh yeah,
Every house was green.
you gotta have some kind of consistency so people know you built it.
But I'd say the other house, I think, is your house in town.
Yeah, the little tiny house. The,
No, not the tiny house. The
Hazel.
Hazel house.
Hazel. Okay.
Hazel House.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think that had a lot of, it made the most significant change, I think,
Yeah.
out of anything we did. But I think a lot of the touches, the vaulted ceilings and the loft and the
Oh, yeah.
stairs, the nails in the floor, like
Oh, yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
The detail in that place is.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the remodels more than the new builds, or
Come on, at least think about it before you answer.
No.
Straight no.
There's something about looking back and tearing apart and seeing how they did things back in the day, but trying to do that with stuff nowadays it can be challenging. The woods is not the same dimensions, and of course you can always make it work.
So you have to sort of throw your standard set of quality out the window when you do a remodel, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, there has to be. Yeah.
It's working on a different. I don't know what the word is, but it's
F it. It's good enough.
We do say it's good enough. That's good. That's fine. Just keep going. Just
Good enough for who it's for.
stop looking at it. If you don't like the way it looks, stop looking at it.
That's only on your remodels.
On mine, yeah. See, we don't remodel for other people really, and that's. I mean, we've done very limited amounts of work for other people. Like we did the kitchen. What was that? The kitchen and the deck with the big window in the front. It was Susanna's.
Oh,
That
was a bizarre project, though.
It was hard because it's the first time we did a semi renovation in somebody's house where they live, and that made it hard because like they didn't move out for a renovation; they like lived there the whole time. So that was hard because you're cutting power off, you're tearing the kitchen out.
That'd be rough.
You're tearing doors and windows out.
Yeah.
And like
their dog barked at you all day through the door.
It's but we love Susanna though.
Yeah.
And that's why we did that job for her because she was an exception to the rule that we don't remodel for other people. And we really appreciate everything she does for the Perkins Builder Brothers channel. She works, getting our
She does a lot of the
management,
marketing, communications, all that
go.
stuff. Yeah. So
Well, that was more of an addition, not a tear out.
right? Yeah.
Like when you did your stair remodel for your buddy with the termites.
Oh yeah, the termite stair
Bro,
removal.
that was bad.
Anyway, my buddy Dale, he's got a body shop down in town here, Green's Body Shop, and I don't know why I said yes to that. Well, anyway, I was getting my truck worked on or something. so whatever. But yeah, we did the videos are out there. You can go watch them. But, we tore an old set of stairs out that was totally eaten by termites and everything surrounding it as well.
When the termites were still there, though. So it was like putting lipstick on a pig. It was.
Yeah. We got deeper and farther into things than we wanted to, but it was required of us as we tore it apart. We had no choice but to seek out the rest of the damage that was connected and rebuild it. So it turned out good though. They were really happy and it was like a week-long project and we just busted it out.
So I mean, with that little, if you're digging into something and you find termites, they like, do you treat them? Do you call somebody to treat them while you're working?
Yeah, but it's kind of weird. I don't know a lot about pest control termite stuff, but I can tell you that they don't just come into the house and start shooting them with chemicals.
Right.
They actually go to the perimeter of the house outside.
Right.
And either they try to find where they're coming in, I guess, and then they treat areas where they're entering the house. And then the ones that are in there, I don't know, they just leave. I mean, you can't get into every area where they are, I don't think. Or you'd sure tear the house apart trying to do that. So anyway, they try to shut them off, cut them off outside. Okay. And the ones inside, I guess they eventually just die. I don't even know. If they can't get back outside. I don't know what they do. You gotta think like a termite. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
man.
Life advice from Jaime.
I don't know what they think.
They think food.
That's true.
I do know
food
this. They don't
food
like it if it's
reproduction.
dry, bone dry stuff. They need moisture of some kind.
Right.
So if it's too dry or something,
Dehumidifiers.
yeah, they don't like it dry. Who knows? Call the termite guy.
I'm a huge fan of dehumidifiers.
Yeah.
All the time. Well, you got one in your basement, but you also have a wood shop.
You got one in Busley?
I don't keep it plugged in right now, but I should.
You mean succubus?
We'll get to that later.
I don't know what we're talking about there, but
All right.
That's my buzz.
I thought you got rid of that. We're jumping ahead. All right,
I got to be insured before I get rid of it.
Well, the stick with the job site topic on that. Let's with on the job. You're sort of known for I feel like, through watching these videos, you always come up with some little trick or jig or, somewhat like Arlo did, but you're always trying to be, creative with your thinking on how do I make this easier.
I learned a lot from Arlo. Arlo was my mom's ex-husband's best friend. Tim Mason. He's a local architect and contractor around here. So I've known Arlo since I was about 6.
Yeah.
And so Arlo and Tim built our house when we were kids. So that was the first time I got into carpentry.
You lived in an Arlo house?
I did.
No way.
On the top of Dills Road.
I did not know that. Huh.
Yeah, so, they would put 2 nails in a sheet of plywood and hand me a hammer and a bucket of nails and say, put them all in here. And so I'd go, and that's where I learned to sling nails. So around their dad at the NOC and things like that. But what were we saying?
Yeah, I was just talking about how you are sort of known for coming up with these creative, I
think part of that is when I built yachts, there was no manual, or I had nobody there to teach me how to build a yacht. I basically got thrown into it, and here's a drawing, and go make this look like this.
Here's a pretty picture of a yacht.
And so
you build it.
I was,
Seriously,
pretty much make it look good. And so, I was in fiberglass and doing things like that. So a lot of lamination. And so I got into that. And then I apprenticed painting yachts from a guy out of Tampa. And he would come up for a couple months out of the year, and he and I would paint a boat together. And that's how I learned to paint yachts. But building boats, and then I wasn't a carpenter, but you still had to work with wood. You had to build plugs and molds and do those types of things. So not being a carpenter, I just would wing it and try to think of different things. And you always had to come up with something, some kind of idea how to scribe something or how to make a jig to make something, something repetitive if you had to do something like that. And then I worked for Wilderness Systems in their research and development. And so I kind of got thrusted in that. And
what is Wilderness Systems?
It's a sea kayak company.
Okay.
It was with Wave Sport and Mad River Canoes. It's called Confluence. But, I worked with those guys, and just being in there by myself and trying to figure out what they needed and just winging it, and wood and Bondo and fiberglass and lots of stuff. So that's where I got that type of mentality, is let me see if I can figure out something to make it easier for everybody.
It's, I think it's interesting you bring that up, and you're tying in, because, we interviewed Arlo a couple of weeks ago now, and then it's like, we talked about NOC, and we talked about boat building, and now here we are sitting here talking to you, you bring up NOC, you bring up boat building. It's an interesting little trend between the two of you.
I'm feeling left out. I never built a boat.
Dang. We've been wanting to. Arlo and I are talking about building some wood strip fiberglass canoes, but Arlo's so busy all the time.
He's so busy.
Have another house to build.
Is. I know. He's retired and he's the busiest one.
I gotta ask Jono a question. Arlo brought up the fact that you used to get money from underneath the changing rooms at the NOC. Is that true?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And he taught us how to do it too. Follow me, boys.
What's the most money you ever found in a day? You remember?
Well.
And how old were you?
I was probably 12 or 13. I went to the Ocoee River, where the NOC had an outpost, and back in the days, my mom would just send me there, and some guy would keep an eye on me, and I would eat staff meals, and so they had a Coke machine outside their outfitter's store, and it was a tight crawl. Like it was you're scraping your shoulders trying to get under there. But I got under there, and there must have never been a kid underneath there in their entire life, but it was like a mountain of coins. And I think I ended up having like over $70-something in quarters.
No
and change.
way.
Wow.
Dang.
And so when I brought it up, I was just going to buy this sweet pack, like a fanny pack for backpacking. And, so all I did was hike. And the lady tried to claim that it was her money. And so I was like, all right. No, it's not. I went under there and got it. So she's like, nope, this money belongs to us. And she started counting it out. So I just got on the phone and called my mom at the NOC and and said, this is my mom. You need to talk to her. And so I could hear her just wailing on that girl's ear. And then the girl hung up and just slid all the change back over to me. So I
Wow.
went and got my pack and told her my discount, and I slid all the change back over and made her count it.
Oh man.
Yeah. But I used to do that at the NOC. People would, I wasn't a perverted kid, but back in the day, it was just a deck and it was changing rooms. So anybody that took their shorts or pants off to change clothes, anything that was in her pockets, it would go through the cracks.
That's right.
I would find Swiss Army knives. I'd find rings and necklaces and change, all kinds of stuff. And so some of the stuff they would call me to go under to retrieve it.
Got a guy for that.
Somebody that knew they dropped it. So
Yeah.
So when stuff falls on your head down there, did you say, "Hey, I got it. I got it." Hold on.
Keep shaking.
Okay.
But no, they don't have that anymore. That's something.
But nobody
man.
uses money anymore either.
Well,
Nobody
true.
gives me all
Yeah.
debit cards, I think.
Yeah. Oh, what a
But it was pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, I hustled. I made my money. I'd get dirty and come out and just jump in the river and clean off. And I had money for pocket knives and
Hey.
all kinds of stuff.
And you love crawling into crawl spaces now, right?
I can't.
We're still doing the same
stand
thing. We just don't make as much money now.
It
doing
used to not bother me. Like when I was a kid, I'd go caving with my parents and and people at the NOC. There used to be caves, or I don't know if they still are, but in the Nantahala Gorge, I didn't have a problem. But now I found out I get a little claustrophobic if I get stuck.
I don't like going in a crawl space that is an old one, especially. I've been in some where you're crawling in between things that are really tight, short ceiling height to the floor, and ductwork and plumbing, and you're trying not to like break a pipe by crawling across it. But the worst is when you're going farther than you wanted to go already, and you feel like you can't turn around. You have to back out crawling. But you still didn't get to where you need to be yet. And you're like, oh, dang, how far am I going to go? Anyway, I had a few of them. Don't like it. Some people, I guess it doesn't bother them. They just go in there army style and just...
See, if I can't roll over while I'm under there, I think that's an it. Like if I have to go in and there's only one, like if you have to shimmy out feet 1st too.
I just do the worm. That's how I get in there.
Especially if you drop your tool beside you and you're already there and you're, it's just, I don't know. I'm too old for that.
Yeah. I got to tell you a real short story. I have a friend, and he had a kitchen sink that the drain broke on it. He didn't know that it broke, of course, and as a crawl space. And for maybe a couple of years, everything that went down the drain in the kitchen sink just went into the crawl space. And it made this giant swamp. He noticed, like, man, something smells a little bit. And so that was one I was talking about where I couldn't turn around. That's kind of what I was thinking of, is that one in particular. And I finally got to where I could see, like, with a flashlight over some ducts, and there was just a pond of kitchen sink water under there.
Gosh.
So once we saw that, I was like, okay, I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. Retreat. And we called the plumber. And dude, that guy, I mean, he slithered in there. He crawled straight all through it, fixed it in like 5 minutes, and left. And it didn't bother him a bit.
Day's work.
It didn't even bother him.
Day's work.
I'm telling you what a guy. I don't even know his
I
name.
bet it bothered your friend's wallet.
Well, yeah,
That
I'm
guy
sure.
probably went and took the week off.
I hope he got paid good for that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to. I was between jobs before I started with you guys, and a local plumber. I was like, whatever. I didn't know he did all the municipality buildings in Swain County and schools and hospitals. And first day, we go to the Cherokee Hospital emergency room to snake the drain. No hazmat suits, nothing on your face, just yeah. Oh man, and I don't have a good stomach for that. So we went there, did that, and then we went to a local restaurant, and just like you said, like this drain, but it was the drain from the sewer had been draining under this restaurant that's in Cherokee, which I will not name, but I will not eat at. And it was just a lake underneath of sewage. And he's like, well, we're going to have to get underneath and fix that. And I was like, how are you getting in there? And he goes, well, you are, feller. We'll probably put a ramp or a plank across there, and you'll just have to crawl across that.
No way.
I was like, all right.
Did you
So
walk the plank, matey?
No, we
didn't do it?
were loading some stuff up in the truck, and I said, well, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to put in my 2-week notice today.
Put my 2-minute notice.
My first day, I put in my 2-week notice, and I worked the 2 weeks, and then I quit.
Wow,
that was
dude.
it.
Wasn't for you, huh?
No, and I was praying that he wasn't going to do that restaurant job while in those 2 weeks. So it was not plumber. Not a plumber.
Not a plumber. I avoid plumbing as much as possible. I got asked that the other day. What do you really just try to avoid, like, jobs? I'm like, dude, plumbing.
Really?
Yeah, people like it's easy.
I'm scared of plumbing.
I want to be bad at something.
Yeah.
I'm scared of plumbing.
I don't mind plumbing.
I never done
Electrical and plumbing. I want to be really bad at those.
Yeah.
Like I'll shock myself just so I don't have to do electricity.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like if I go back and start over, I'm going to come back as a plumber or an electrician one.
Well, I'll call you. We'll keep you busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're in high demand.
They are.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Especially emergency stuff. Holy moly. Something, water line breaks.
I think anybody in skilled trades in this area is in high demand.
Mm-hmm. Well, more than just this area. I think it's a more. I think it's a regional, more than regional, a U.S. thing, maybe even more than that. But I think more people will be focused on it, though. More people keep talking about it.
I hope so. I don't know.
That was
Working with your hands is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. It's harder for AI to replace that.
I think you should take all the people up on their free labor and help and see how long they last.
Well, that's, I don't know.
If it lasts more than 2 weeks of labor up there, you might want to hire them.
Maybe. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's just
hard work.
Well, like, for example, if I ask Jono to do something, I know that he's got his years and years, his lifetime of experience of building all kinds of wacky stuff in his mind, and he makes his decisions with all of that in mind. You know what I'm saying? With any and everything he's ever built. And when somebody has never built something, a new guy, say, and you ask him to do the same thing, when they check their memory to see how I should do this, it's like a big blank white room instead of Jono's room full of all the things he's ever done. That is lots of complicated stuff and figuring out of things. It's like in the have you seen the Lego movie? I think it's the first one.
Yeah.
Is it Emmett or what's the guy's name? The main character.
The name, yeah.
The main character in the Lego movie. Brett's looking it up. That's why he's here. And then who plays the wizard guy? Have you seen the guy that wears all white? He kind of is like the almost like the wizard from Harry Potter, kind of that role in the movie.
Okay.
Trust me, I'm going somewhere.
It's Emmett.
Emmett
And Vitreous.
I'm finding out you have time to watch movies.
Vitreous. I don't know.
That.
Well, and who plays the wizard guy?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman, that's right. Okay, so everybody knows Morgan Freeman's voice. So they're gonna like check his mind or something, and they like go up into his mind, and it's like a vast blank white nothingness, and the wizard guy is astounded at the absolute nothingness that's in his mind. That's what I was picturing, by the way, when I was trying to describe a new guy being faced with a task that he just does not know what he's doing. It's like, well, I can rely on everything I know, and it's nothing. Oh gosh, sorry.
No, it's
unnamed new guy.
Yeah,
whoever you are, it's not a real person. It's just a
stop talking about Max.
I'm sorry, it's not Max.
That's what everybody's going to think.
No, it's not Max.
That's what everybody's going to think.
It's the generic new guy, wherever you are.
It wouldn't be Max because he wouldn't be on the job anymore.
That's true.
That's right. Yeah. Max is...
and he's been doing it for a little bit now.
Max is doing great.
Construction management.
He just needs direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. He needs some coaching. He does.
Yeah. And I don't think Ray wants to coach anybody. And I think Jason just wants to punish him for being there. So... I think that, if he gets a little direction, Jamie's not there that much. Eric's can't give direction. So I think that if you just like, bro, it's okay just to chill. So you don't have to do something right now. But, if you want, you can go do this. But I think,
I've had the benefit of being on jobs with
But he's also a band manager while he's working too, and so I see that.
Who, Max?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Well, he plays banjo in a
Like
band.
I'll ask
that's
him go
right.
do something and turn around, and if
You
he's
guys
gone
need
for
to have
15
him-
minutes and he's on the phone, I'm like, well, you kids,
You
he's
need to
doing
have
it.
him pick on the banjo at lunch sometime at the Perkins Builder
Well,
Brothers
we
show.
should. We did that at the beginning, but we need to do it some more. But he is a
right.
great guy, and he does need some coaching, and he's learning. And it goes on. It goes on.
I mean, it takes time.
Yep. Yeah.
It takes time of being there doing it to know it,
Yeah, I don't expect him to all of a sudden just be doing everything that we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you
There's
ask Jono,
immediately-
you tell Jono, hey, Jono, go build these stairs. You're not saying that to Max.
No. No.
And
But
John will break out
but
that
if I
cool
give
tool,
detailed,
that
oh
cool-
yeah.
that cool
His-
tool to
his
measure
stair tool.
stairs, the stair tool.
I know. We're gonna need that.
Do you have that? I think I lost my stair jig,
Yee.
which was my brother's.
I hope. I better call Arlo.
Thought Jason had that, but
Oh, dude, I don't know. We better call around. That's bad when you loan a tool out and you now you don't know who has it.
Well, talking about tools real quick. I mean, what on the job, Jono? Like, what is the number one tool you got to have in your bag?
He likes Ryobi.
Not the brand. Not the brand.
I think a tape measure.
Tape measure.
Yeah.
Number one, most important tool.
That's a good
Pretty
answer.
important.
All right. Well, then, but there's lots of different tape measures. What's the length?
Oh, you got to have a 25.
You got to have a 25.
And I mean, it's good to all have the same tape, so you're all kind of on the same page. But Arlo would always bring something.
Mm-hmm.
He made it right.
AliExpress, Temu.
I'm gonna have to explain what Jono's maybe referencing here is that all tape measures do not measure the same length,
Okay.
and so we all kind of use the Stanley Fatmax.
Okay.
Isn't that what it is? So there's pretty good consistency in the Fatmax family of tapes, I guess.
How often do you quality control that? Do you test it out?
At least finish time. But
I'd say when Jason calls out 5 measurements that are wrong and I have to keep recutting, I think that's when we check tapes. I'm like, let's
Give
just
me your
see
tape.
your tape. Is it your eyes today or is it your tape? But I mean,
Ragging
know,
on Jason.
I think I think it's just because he just gets in a rush. I think he's just hard of seeing, and his tape is really old.
the best move when that starts happening is you say, "Let me see your tape."
And cut it.
No, you throw it off the mountain as far as you can. But then you got to have a new tape. You got to have a new tape to hand
That'd be
them.
worth just buying him a new tape.
So you make sure you have the new
I'm
tape.
just
Then
gonna
you
take
borrow
10
theirs.
snips and just cut it and let it split.
Make sure they're watching. Then you chuck it as far as you can, and then you hand them a brand new tape. It's like that guy that cuts people's earbuds cables that he doesn't know, and then he hands them new earbuds. But I wouldn't do that. That's pretty risky.
Shameless plug.
You say, what's it called?
Shameless plug. You can the tape measure all you guys use is on your website.
Okay.
Under the
We
pro
have a
tips and
link.
tools. It's under
We
the
have
pro
a
tips
link.
and tools. We can add the
Okay.
link.
All right. So what we do on the Perkins Builder Brother website is we have a link to a lot of the stuff that we use that we keep in our tool belts.
Yeah.
Because we get a lot of emails and a lot of comments in the YouTube questions about what tool to use, what tape to use, what square to use, what hammer to use, what all this stuff. And so to make it easy, we have assembled this all the products on the website that we use. And if you want to get one, you just can go to our website and click on it, and there's a pathway to buy it there. So
Yeah. That's
I don't know.
a useful tool. And we keep building it out. We keep trying to build it out.
We're trying to add stuff.
Yeah.
We even got hand planes on there because I love hand planes.
You do love hand planes.
Is that a Shop Fox hand plane still available? The little tiny one?
They're
Sorry.
Well,
sidetrack.
yeah. Outside of I want to.
I need one. I need to order me one. Sorry, Brett is not my personal assistant.
Buying.
I don't have a personal assistant. Jono's a hand plane snob, aren't you?
No.
Yeah, you are.
Well, you have.
I think you are.
I think I'm the only one that carries hand planes.
But you had that
anymore, though.
chisel though. That chisel that your grandfather. What was
No,
that?
that was a putty
chisel?
knife.
That was a putty
My
knife.
grandfather in England, it used to be his. So he was a handyman in England after the war.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's a pretty nice little knife,
Yeah.
putty knife.
Maybe you can explain the tattoo on your arm.
Which one? My Confederate flag?
Yeah, the Confederate flag one. I'm just kidding, folks. Why the British flag?
My mom's from England. I'm first generation American on my mom's side. So all my family on my mom's side is in England or in Wales. So that's why I have the Welsh dragon. And
Well, since Brett's jumping ahead here, let's go ahead and talk about that. We're going to talk about like where did where were you born?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
I don't even think I knew that.
Yep. I don't think many people know that.
Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay.
So my dad was a Mormon, and I believe he was on his Mormon mission to England to spread the gospel, and met my mom over there. And then mom got pregnant with my oldest brother, and then she moved to the States when she was 17, I think.
Okay.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did she end up with the NOC crowd, or how did y'all end up with NOC?
I'm not sure. My memories are like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just
My
curious.
memories are like paper, like pulling paper out of a hat. Like,
Yeah, sure.
they're in there, but I'm not sure where they go.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I think my mom was their soccer coach in England or in Utah when we were playing
Yeah.
soccer, and she met Tim Mason, who was going to architecture school in Salt Lake City,
Okay.
and then would raft guide at the NOC in the summer. And so she met him because he was reffing our soccer matches.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's Chilean,
Yeah, yeah.
so he was super good at soccer.
And that means he's from Chile.
Yeah.
Okay, just to make sure that word Chilean.
Is that right? Chilean?
I think so. Yeah.
So anyway, and then they started dating, and he was like, "Hey, you should come to the NOC for a summer," and she did. And then she was like, "I'm going to get my kids."
Dude,
she
it's
came
like-
and got us and brought us all back, and yeah,
There must have been something special about the draw or the appeal to the NOC area and the lifestyle of the outdoors and things like that. It must have had some incredible draw that a lot of people talk about moving here and how they just loved it when they visited something.
I think the original NOC crowd, the people that started that, like your dad and Tim and all the Arlo and all those people, they were like rock stars back then. That was a leap of faith to, I think, leave a place that had such a weird, like, whitewater rafting. Like, the heck is that? But they somehow made a life and a career and out of nothing. So your dad was always building cabins and restaurants, and Arlo was a carpenter and an instructor, kayak instructor, and your dad was a raft guide too. So
Yep.
yeah, they just did what they had to do.
Yeah. It definitely.
I think it's harder for people now just to take that leap of faith of like, man, I'm going to make $0, so I have to do something else. And they did it for the same company, that's loyalty, I think. Most people are like, I'm here, I work in the restaurant. Well, you go build houses or get the heck out of here in the wintertime. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the way it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. I mean, my growing up, we didn't quite cross paths so much, me and you, in the younger days at NOC, because you're older than me by how much?
How old are you?
41?
9 years.
Okay. So we were a little gap in age there. We didn't exactly chill in the same daycare class.
No.
Actually, I think there's pictures of you holding either me or Eric when Eric or myself was a baby.
You were not born yet.
Oh, man. No wonder I didn't remember.
I was holding Eric. I got a big picture of Pudgy Eric in cloth diapers.
Okay.
It was all the original NOC kids.
Yeah. Yeah. So even though Jono and I may have been, after that time at least, a little bit there, we didn't exactly hang out like pals during that time. But my family, is all the NOC thing too. And so we have that in common. And so.
Yeah. That's always the misconception. You don't think Jono's is as senior as he is.
Well, it doesn't look like it. I got
He
more
doesn't.
gray hair than him. Look at his hairdo. Golly, I wish you could zoom in on his hairdo.
I know.
Look at that. I don't know if he wakes up and it looks that good or what.
That's bedhead.
Unbelievable.
That's nice.
one side of the pillow and the other side.
You sleep in an A-frame?
I have to roll over. My shoulders go to sleep.
Oh man.
Well, I guess we can talk about your mom a little bit more. I mean, because she's still around this area, and I've met her and know her through the bakery, probably most common. That she comes in and gives us a good critique on what's proper and what's not.
Yeah, my mom can't live anywhere without everybody knowing her. I think, she likes to tell people like it is, or
She
how
does.
it should be, or
She does.
she has no filter. It was embarrassing sometimes as a kid, like especially when she would try to send food back, and you're like, "Mom, you're getting ready to eat spit. Like, don't send that back." I remember her trying to send a pizza back at Old Pizza Hut. I was like, I'm done eating.
Man.
I'm done eating. Like, I don't want that pizza.
I like that she hasn't. Her accent is really strong. Still, I mean,
You should hear when she talks to her sister. She
yeah.
FaceTimes her sister. Like,
yeah, she does
every
not
day.
sound Americanized like accent of. Is it British? Is that right to say? Because I don't even know. British. There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm just showing my ignorance here on the topic, but anyway, yeah, she sounds very British.
Yeah.
You know.
And what part of England is she from?
Stoke-on-Trent. Stoke,
Gotcha.
which was pretty much England was known for their pottery,
Okay.
their china, and things like that. That was like the working class smokestacks and like china mills and stuff like that. So
Yeah. And she never
she
went.
grew up really poor.
She never went back though. Like she never wanted to move back. Take you guys back there.
No.
No.
No, she moved back for a little while. I think I was in my 20s.
Okay.
She moved back to help a friend in London. I think she had a hair studio or something. And then there was a bombing in the tube in one of the tunnels. Mom was like, I'm out. So she moved right back.
Yeah.
Then moved to Texas. So,
Okay.
and now she's back.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now, I mean, in your childhood, I guess, like, you know, we talked about a little bit. It's pretty much centered around the NOC and the gorge, as we call it, the Nantahala Gorge, which isn't that far from where we're at. It's about 15 minutes tops from where we're at right now, but it feels like a different world because it's like it's growing up here. It's like if you're out there, you don't come into town. You know, if you're in town, you don't go out there. It's like it's almost like two different worlds.
Yeah,
you
when
know?
we were kids, there was no 4-lane. It was a 2-lane road. And it would take 35, 40 minutes to get to the gorge. So it was not an easy drive. Now it's just like, let's go out to the NOC and have lunch. It's just like,
Yeah, and it's now you don't ever have to leave too because they got a Dollar General out there now. So they got everything you could ever need out there. There's a gas station and a Dollar General
And Cardinal Coffee's out there.
and
too.
coffee.
Cardinal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but
That
they're-
was a big improvement. You can stay out
I
there.
love Cardinal Coffee, don't get me wrong. But they should be open on Monday mornings.
I know. People need coffee on
Coffee
Mondays.
need.
On Monday.
The only day I would really want a cup of coffee is Monday. I drive by there every Monday.
You can come to the bakery.
We're open.
Okay. You need a drive-through.
Wow.
Oh,
You need somebody to be able to pull up and park and just run their coffee out.
Yeah, a little run out spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull into
Like a
the food
little,
truck spot. Just wail on the horn right there.
Now, were you a paddler growing up out there?
And no, not so much.
No.
My brother beat me at that.
Yes.
And I was a kayaker, and he was a C1er, which means he's got a one-bladed paddle. And he would still beat me. And so that was humiliating. And so I just stuck to my bicycle.
Right. Yeah. Which is
think,
probably that's still one of your favorite pastimes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, mountain biking.
And I think the only reason I stuck with that, because Adam would have probably beat me at that and I would have quit. But Adam tore his mountain bike apart when we were kids, and he could not put it back together. And so he didn't have a bike. It was all torn to pieces. And so I had a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But I used it for commuting a lot. Like, I mean, when you get off the school bus at the house, I would ride to the NOC, which was probably a 2-mile ride on a 2-lane road, which is, I wouldn't ask anybody's kid to do that nowadays,
No.
Oh,
especially on that road.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I still mountain bike. I mountain bike a couple days ago. It's still one of my passions.
And then you went to the local high school.
Yep.
You know, Swain County High.
Swain High.
Jamie wasn't there to do sound at graduation, but the after graduation, what did you get into?
I'd started dating my high school best friend.
Okay.
And she went to Western. So I moved to Cullowhee, which is 45 minutes from here, Western Carolina University, and stayed there until she graduated. And then we got out of here and moved downstate because she got a job working for her uncle.
Okay.
And so we moved downstate, and that's how I found my job building kayaks.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That ties us into that part. Okay. Well, the yachts, then the kayaks, right?
No, it was kayaks.
Oh, okay.
It was kayaks first. I started down there, and they had me gluing plastic blades, kayak blades, into an aluminum shaft, and basically sanded one end of the shaft and knurled up that side and glued them together, and then put them in a sleeve and had the angle on them. And it was the most monotonous, boring thing. And I was around people that thought this was the greatest job in the world.
No way.
And so I
Very
went,
repetitive, huh?
yeah. So I was just like, after about 2 days of that, I was like, I'm either quitting or I'm going to find a better job.
I would rather crawl through sewage than glue kayak blades.
And so I went to the supervisor. I was like, man, I need a better job. Like, is there anything else more challenging and pays better? And he's like, well, do you have any fiberglass experience? I was like, yes, I do.
No.
Did not.
No. I'd been around Arlo because Arlo and Tim, when we were kids, my brother was racing, and all they had were boats for grown-ups, racing boats for grown-ups. And so Arlo and Tim actually made the first Kevlar fiberglass boat for my brother, and they basically shrunk a version of the men's C1 and made it into a kid's. So my brother had this legitimate racing kayak that was his size.
Yeah.
And so I remember seeing that, and no part of it, but yeah, I told him, yeah, I can do fiberglass. He's like, well, we'll put you in here. You can go into sea kayaks. So I went in there, and I mean, act like you know what you're doing, and yes, sir, no, sir.
Well, fake it till you make it. So, I mean,
Well,
they don't say
So I
that for
got
nothing.
that, and I did that for a while, and then I got into making carbon fiber kayak paddles.
Okay.
And then once I had pretty much exhausted that, I moved into research and development there and started building molds and plugs and prototypes. And then they sent me to Vermont to learn how to build Mad River canoes. I don't know if you ever heard of those.
Yeah.
One with a little bunny on it. And I stayed there for 2 or 3 months in Vermont, learned how to build their composite canoes, and then came down to North Carolina and taught everybody how to build them.
Okay.
And then the company moved to South Carolina.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to relocate, and I didn't want to live in Anderson, South Carolina, so I stayed in the High Point area. And that's where I got into yachts.
Okay.
Yahtzee. Does any of this tie into your furniture importing, exporting?
I worked for a buddy of mine. But after I did the yachts for a while, I felt like I was underpaid, not insured. It was very toxic. And so I asked for a raise or asked for insurance, and he wouldn't do it. So I quit, and I got a job upholstering furniture. And I upholstered furniture for a while until I realized the supervisors weren't doing their job, and I would try to coax them into doing their jobs right, and they wouldn't do it. So the guy's like, look, if you don't like it, you can quit. So I was like, you're right. And so I quit, and then my buddy hired me, and he imported furniture, and I ran his warehouse for him. So I was a warehouse manager over, I think it was 50,000 square foot warehouse.
Dang.
I need one of those.
Had 15 bays,
Yeah.
and just constantly rotating, like unloading shipping containers,
Yeah.
putting them in inventory, rotating stock, making sure things that were older were getting sent out before the new stuff. And it was hard. It's like herding
The many
cats.
jobs of Jono here.
This is crazy because he's done like a lot of different things, and I've only done one thing ever is build houses. So
There's no white space in Jono's brain.
no, it's all full.
Full of lots of different things that you can pull from, which is that's important for sure, to be able to have lots of different things to draw on and lots of experiences.
Diversified for sure.
Yeah.
And before all that, I painted houses for a local guy, Don Atten.
Yep, I remember.
It was a super good guy. But that's how I put my ex-wife through college, was painting houses for a long time.
So if you wonder why Jono's meticulous about things, all the things he's ever done takes extreme attention to detail, especially upholstering furniture.
Oh,
Holy
gosh,
moly.
ridiculous.
I mean, I've never done that, but I'm imagining what it must be like.
There's not a lot of room for error when you're upholstering furniture.
Fabrics, staples, glue.
Yeah, I mean, keeping the patterns, not stretching it too tight. Like, there's a lot of things that go into that. Like what materials you're working with, how you stretch it, where you stretch it, how you can cut it.
The one thing I can associate with that kind of stuff is watching people do car interiors, like on TV shows. You know, these guys that can make anything out of anything and then cover it in leather and make it look like amazing. I'm like, wow, holy moly, that's skill.
Well, and a lot of that, like the people who sew that stuff also makes that stuff look really good. Like you just sew diamond patterns or any of the stitching. That's where a lot of that real skill comes into making an upholsterer look good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When did you come back to settle down in this area?
Shortly after my daughter was born.
Okay.
So that was in 07,
Okay.
maybe 08, 09 I came back out here.
Yeah.
I didn't want my daughter to be in school out there where she's just another face in the crowd.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah, I moved back here to be closer to family.
Yeah.
My brother was living here. All my ex-wife's family lives here in Bryson. She's from Bryson. So, yeah, we decided to move back and have support with the kid and all that. And
Oh, yeah.
Did your daughter just graduate? Or no?
She's in college.
She's in college, okay.
I think she's a junior now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Goodness.
It's just scary. It's scary.
That's scary.
Because you're getting older, because she's getting older.
Because I gotta probably have a wedding to pay for.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna send them on their honeymoon in an unfinished bus.
That's the bus. Where does the bus fit into this story?
What is the bus? Tell us what's the bus.
I thought it was a good idea. I went through my divorce and then started living on my own. I had my own place for the first time, which I didn't realize that rent here was so bad while I had this place. So it was affordable. I had a good lifestyle. And then I decided that I wanted to live like a nomad and leave in the wintertime, and go down south and avoid the winters. And so I was like, maybe I'll just buy a bus and live in it and live on my parents' farm. And, thought it was a great idea. So I bought a bus, and it wasn't a great idea.
No.
It was completely rusted out. It was great at first. The carpentry wasn't good because the kid had no idea what he was doing, but it was all fixable. But I took it to a show. I actually went to a live show and was camped out in it, and it was pouring rain, and woke up to rain, like water dripping on my face and my girlfriend's face. And so,
What show?
it was a Humphreys McGee show.
Okay.
It was pretty awesome.
Awesome, man.
But yeah, so I started tearing it apart. I was like, we'll just tear this apart. We'll just tear this out. I'll just tear this apart.
Classic remodel.
So I got to the floor and I ripped something up off the fender wells, and I was looking down at the tires and realized that there was no metal there. It was all spray foam and wood. So it was pretty bad.
They used to make cars and trucks out of wood, so I don't see what's wrong with that.
That wood.
So
It wasn't pressure treated.
It was terrible. It was really bad. So actually, I've had friends and I've learned a lot myself doing welding, but the whole chassis has been pretty much replaced. Fender wells have been refabricated with like marine grade steel. Like the fender wells will be the last thing to go on it. Resealed the roof, resealed the windows, resealed the gutters. Like I'm insulating it now, but I'd say there's no hurry to do it. There's no reason for me to do it. So I'm just kind of sitting on it. I don't know. It's just kind of stale.
Move to the back of the project list, huh?
I mean, I got too many irons in the fire.
well, I'd love to see the bus completed. I've only seen it in a partial state.
I want to put it on the channel. I've been trying to get you guys to push the bus build on the channel.
Well, I bet our audience would enjoy some bus build stuff.
Just a week of that
No,
bus
just
build.
a week.
Just a week.
We'll just park it at your shop. And I'll bring everything, pay everybody. Like,
There you go.
that might be the kick
Does
in
it
the pants.
drive?
Yeah.
It drives? Okay. I didn't know because, you took everything out.
No, it
inside of
drives.
it. Engine's still in there.
I drove
Engine's
it around
good.
for a while and it had no floor in it. That was pretty interesting. I drove it to a buddy of mine on Larka and went through this huge mud puddle, and wheels slung up all the mud and the water up on the inside of the ceiling and the inside of the windows. I was so pissed. But it was, yeah, I mean, you can only laugh at that. It was fun.
Oh, man. So what if you do ever finish it? Then what? What are you going to do with it? I mean, you going to go travel?
I mean,
You
I
gonna-
think I would travel in
Yeah.
it. I'd honestly, if people wanted to stay in it or,
rent Jono's bus.
Yeah.
even if fans came and wanted to drive a bus around for a weekend and sightsee, it needs to be used. It needs to be driven. It needs to be finished, or I'm going to insure it and drive it to the lake, maybe.
Well, you probably blew your cover on that one.
So I'd like to finish it, but I've been trying to pull Arlo out of retirement and see if he'd give me some ideas, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to get motivation sometimes.
it is.
Well, yeah. One of my questions I had for you was like, if money was no issue, what would you spend your time doing? And then you sort of hinted at that right there on that last one. Would you just?
I think I would travel
Yeah.
in the United States.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in
But
traveling.
not fancy travel. You wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
Bus travel. I'd like to take the bus and the motorcycle and a bicycle, and that'd just be it. Park the bus somewhere and ride the motorcycle around for a week or two. And, I thought about, I don't know when I'll retire or if I'll retire, but if there's ever a point where I leave these guys, put all my tools in the bus and then just drive around and, YouTube fans from the channel, go and do some remodeling for them and hang
Hobby
out.
jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang out for 2 weeks, get some gas money and some food. And
Head to Burning Man.
no.
What is
I'm
Burning
past
Man?
It's
I never heard of that.
It's where a lot of wackadoos go out in the desert and hang out. And
Okay.
Maybe,
that a place?
maybe Burning Man 20 years ago. Now
Why
it's
does
too-
everybody know what this is and I never heard of it?
You never heard
Burning Man?
You really never heard of Burning Man?
No.
Wow.
The closest thing I can think of is the movie Lawnmower
It's
Man.
in a desert
is that-
outside of Reno.
Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, I don't know the name of the desert necessarily.
it's where
but
people go and get to bring out their freak flag. Like, it's pretty
Okay.
wild. And they bring out, it's like carny folk looking
Okay,
place.
okay.
yeah, it's
I don't
pretty
know.
wild.
And then
It's
they
like-
burn,
it's
and
like
then
Mad-
they burn
it's-
some big effigy of some
Of something. It's different every year, but it's like Mad Max.
Okay.
It is. It's wild.
Yeah, and I don't know what that is either. So
Like people on homemade bicycles that are 10 feet tall and
Okay.
just crazy, dressed up in top hats. and
okay, I can see that.
Just
Surprised you don't know what Mad Max
Dude,
is.
I don't know what I don't have time for Mad Max.
You had time for the Lego
I'm
movie.
right.
I have kids.
On that.
It takes place in the Black Rock Desert outside of in
There you go,
Nevada.
Black Rock Desert.
And a couple of years ago, Jono, you probably saw this too, but a couple of years ago it rained, which it never
Oh yeah,
does.
and they all
So
got stuck.
imagine like the Great Salt Flats. That's kind of what this looks like.
Okay.
Everybody got stuck
Oh, great.
because when it rains there, which it never
It
does,
just turned to mush.
it was like it wasn't quite like quicksand. Or what is quicksand? What kind of material is it?
Oh, cementitious?
Yeah, there you
I don't
go.
know if that's right for
No,
quicksand, but
I think that's
but
right.
it's in concrete. Yes.
Anyway,
Okay.
you should look it up. It's a
All right then. I got homework to do.
Yeah.
Learn what Burning Man is.
And Mad
Learn
Max.
We're gonna
what
have an
happens-
episode. Jono goes to Burning Man.
Mad Max. Oh, my
I
God.
wouldn't say I would go to Burning Man, but I would like to go mountain bike in Florida. I'd like to go visit family in Texas. I'd like to go
Mountain
out.
bike riding in Florida. That sounds like an oxymoron, but
It
can you
does, but they
explain?
have
Can you
really good
explain that?
Well,
They have good trails.
they have really good
They could-
trails.
It's the scenery is cool. I will
Get some
admit.
distance in for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they have really. They have better weather for it. They have,
I mean,
it's
wintertime.
It's easier to get more mileage in there because you're just meandering through the groves and
Looking for boa constrictors and
I enjoy
pythons. and-
paddleboarding. So there's
Yeah.
springs there, but no, I want to go back out west. I want to go see all the national parks out west and stay out there and live.
He's itching. He's
I am
itching to
itching.
go.
He likes to go
Get
and
on
see.
the
I mean, you
road.
can't blame him. I
Go
can't
and
blame
see
him.
and do.
I would like to also.
You know, Ben, Jono, and Jaime are I think they're the first two people to have a beer at, not that anybody drinks here, at the bar at BC Outdoors.
Because we built
it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And brought it down. That was a good one.
Who was it that put the screw through it on the first day? Was that
Through
you?
what now?
Through the top.
From underneath.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll say it was Liz.
I remember that.
Oh, through the bar top?
Yeah.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
All right, people have no idea what we're talking about, so I'm going to tell them we built like a 17-foot long walnut bar, and bar top, and it was like 18 or 20 inches wide with a little L turn in the end. So we had it all made in my shop. We planed it, we glued it together, we finished it, and sanded it, and everything was beautiful, perfect. And then we go install it, and I put some brackets in underneath to support the overhang part. Mm-hmm. And I ran a screw in through the bracket underneath of it that was longer than the thickness of the bar, and it popped out through the top. And I think, unfortunately, Brett was standing there when it happened, because otherwise I would have pretended like it didn't happen. But I told him, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. And I just undid the screw and then smacked it with my hammer at the top to seat the splinter that popped up. And it's been fine ever since. I don't know what's the big deal. So
I forgot about that.
It needs refinish now. You've been saying that for...
I've been saying that for a while.
Jono's wanted to refinish it for years, but we never close.
I know you can't close long enough to refinish the thing.
Just put your reserve from here to here, and I'll just do a section at a time.
Just do one seat at a time.
I mean,
that's an idea.
You could do that.
Got to find some more rock hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
Glad we had a little break there. You know, I went in the bathroom, which is right behind this wall, right behind the sticker. And, you know, I used to think walking in here that your toilet was close to the wall, because this is pretty tight. You know, it's a tiny house.
Yeah.
And until we got this other remodel down here. And then now I really know what it's like to have a toilet close to the wall. So yours has plenty of room now. It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
Well, hey, back to Jono here. Jono, I wanted to bring up your brother Adam that you've talked about a lot in the paddling and stuff. And I know it's probably hard to talk about and for a lot of reasons, but he was such an accomplished person, an athlete, and maybe slightly underappreciated in this area of how skilled he was. I know we talked a little bit, and just me and you over the years about how recognition for sports in this area didn't always include like the NOC gang as much as it did some other areas.
Right.
And I remember close to the time, I guess it was, we said about 8 years ago, when you started working for me. And I remember you tried to cut your thumb off the first
second day?
The first or second day that you worked for me with a skill saw, but you didn't. You just barely nicked yourself.
It was close. And I kept working. So.
But anyway, what if there's anything you'd like to share about your brother, Adam, what would it be?
I mean,
just take your time.
He had a pretty fulfilled life, I'd say. He passed away in 2017, which was, I think, 2 weeks after I had started with you guys. Mm-hmm. I might have started with you guys. He passed away July 10th.
Okay.
And I was with you guys for maybe 2 weeks right before that happened. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's missed, but he was somebody I always looked up to.
Older brother, right?
Yeah, he was 2 years older than me. Yep. But super skilled, super talented. Went to Barcelona Olympics, Atlanta Olympics in slalom C1. But on top of that, built 2 of his own houses. Yeah. Exceptional carpenter, metalsmith, welder, fabricator, painter, kind of following the same footsteps. But he was somebody I looked up to as kind of a father figure as well as a big brother. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have much of a father figure growing up. So it was he was somebody I definitely looked up to.
Yeah, I can tell you, I didn't really know him greatly personally, mostly due to the age gap, kind of like us when we were younger and all that. But every time I heard his name come up, it was about his metal fabrication because somebody needed some special thing made, and he was the guy for that.
Yeah.
And had a pretty awesome shop set up where he could literally make anything out of metal.
Yeah. So he went to Southwestern Community College, got his welding certificate, and then worked for a local company here that building jet boats.
Oh yeah.
And pretty much started that business.
Yeah.
Was the only metal fabricator and painter that he pretty much had at the beginning. So.
Gotcha. I didn't know that actually. That's kind of how it started with a crew or with somebody that's capable of actually building them physically, building an aluminum boat.
And so yeah, he was there through pretty much the R&D and all that, and starting of those jet boats, and then went on to start his own business. And he did a lot of motorcycle fabrication. He made custom tanks and frames and fenders, and he had his own English wheel. And
Wow.
yeah, he just went for it.
So I do a little metalworking. Like I can cut straight pieces of metal and weld them together. When you talk about making a motorcycle tank, you mean like bending?
Like making a wooden form with ribs and everything, and he would just beat the metal to that shape. So he'd already made his shape out of wood.
Wow.
And I've still got some of those things at his old shop, some things that he
That's
had
crazy.
made.
That is crazy. Taking a flat piece of metal and turning it into a motorcycle gas tank.
And he actually fabricated his own English wheel. So
Oh,
he
wow.
would- yeah. So he would sit there and just run it through these little wheels and,
Yeah.
and get his shapes, and all that was like back before YouTube. My brother was the guy that had 20 VHS tapes on metal fabrication
No way.
and hot rod building and painting. And yeah, he watched, and then he's got DVDs of these guys that did fabrication that
Holy
back
moly.
then were just making videotapes.
You mean there was a way to learn stuff before YouTube?
And this was between
crazy.
books and YouTube. It was videos. Yeah, so I still have some of his VHS tapes.
Holy moly. I know I've walked, so I've been in the shop there, of course, with you at the place where your mom lives, right? You call it the farm and the shop there. And there was a bunch of aluminum trailers and stuff, building custom trailers. And I don't know whatever happened to the car. It was your other brother's car. They had, in the back
Miata?
room. Yeah, the Miata.
Yeah, it was going to be a flying Miata. Adam was supposed to put a V8 in it for my oldest brother.
I got you.
Sorry
And
about
that
that.
was just one of those things, kind of like the bus.
Yeah.
It's just kind of lost the momentum.
Miata with a V8. It sounds fun.
But yeah, and somebody has that somewhere, and it's probably driving it on the Dragon. But that would have been a fun little car.
Yeah.
Dang.
Be hard to hold on to a little bit. There's not a lot in a Miata. So you put V8 in it. I had a Miata.
I was going to say, Ben, I have to bring this up. Ben had a Miata.
Yeah, but
Do
it
you wanna
wasn't
describe
a monster
What it looked
Miata.
like? Was it white?
it was white. It
was white.
With a tan top.
Used to belong to this chick that we went to high school with, right?
Did it?
I don't know.
I don't know if it did. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just
that was
busting
my
you.
commuter car. I drove it back and forth
There's
to
no shame.
WCU.
Look, I'm not trying to shame you for
okay.
driving. Yeah, you know, you're a big burly guy with a beard and
Hey
driving a
man,
Miata.
if you go to the Tail of the Dragon, Miatas.
I'm sure there's plenty of Miatas.
Take it.
I thought about buying one
It's
myself.
a fun car.
so-
It is a fun car.
They were, my brother, when he had his, it was pretty fun. He had done all kinds of stuff to it. And it was just like driving a little go-kart.
Yeah.
But not
felt
very practical when you go to move across the country.
So really, yeah.
Can't fit a lot of
So
stuff.
the whole California thing didn't work out good.
well, I
Miata.
mean, I couldn't have taken a lot of things.
What could you
Suitcase.
possibly need?
Put a suitcase on a little trunk rack.
That's very British of you. The trunk
Yeah.
rack.
Oh man, the bonnet.
I would have put one on there. If I had a Miata, I would have had the little chrome trunk rack.
Yep, I believe you.
I'd had a cool-
Jono has the most stuff on his truck and in his truck of anybody. Now I keep a lot of junk.
junk.
Junk. Jono's always busting me about how disorganized my truck is, and it's true. It's not untrue. And you know, sometimes I organize it, or I say I should. No, I should. I say that I should organize it.
Right.
Okay. And that doesn't help any. But Jono actually has a very organized set of what is it? This Milwaukee stuff, the pack out
Milwaukee
stuff.
pack outs.
Yeah, he's all packed out with the Milwaukee pack outs.
Yeah.
And on his roof, he carries all kinds of stuff too on the roof rack.
A little bit more,
I
yeah.
carry bicycle stuff, helmets, pumps, paddleboard paddles up in there. Like just outdoor stuff that stays away from all the work stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't carry as much to the job anymore. So
Well,
I
not
feel
really.
like I had to fill that void. So I've just been trying to carry
Yeah.
everything that needs to be there for Ray and Jason.
I appreciate that. It is
Dang.
so. Oh man. Well, let me say this, not in necessarily my defense, but in my defense, man, it's hard to have everything on the job you need all the time.
It is.
It
and I
is
know
so
that.
hard.
And I understand that. That's
but-
why I carry what I carry, is because I don't want to take it to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know in order to get the job done and make it look good, like,
And those,
I hate being at a job and winging it because we don't have the right tools.
That is not fun. That is
those
not
job
fun.
site trailers are dangerous because
I
they
have-
can get broken into.
You know, I don't know. I actually don't know anybody that works out of a job site trailer, like with leaving all the tools. It's a perfect package for
Yeah.
somebody to steal.
Tim Mason does.
Does he really? And he's not worried about it?
But he's got some kind of fancy contractor's insurance. You don't have all that?
What?
Aren't you guys part of some kind of insurance?
No, dude, I don't know. I have insurance for all
Like
kinds
he
of
literally
things.
will take the wheels off of it,
Yeah.
and then put a lock on it. It sits on blocks the whole time.
You know, if I was going to do something like this, I would maybe get a shipping container that you could just drop off.
Nice.
You know,
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to do it.
A pod.
We
But
don't
you know
have
who
room
could pick
for that.
up though. Doesn't BB gone like the little sewer trash guys?
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
those things.
They probably do. They probably got 10 of them sitting up there.
Not the dumpsters. So I thought they had little containers.
Shipping
Yeah.
containers,
I think they do. I don't know if they sell them. I mean, I would love to have a couple of shipping containers.
to go with your
It's like a
trailers.
pod.
My
What
list
are
of
they?
things to
Pod
get.
Things.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
I mean,
guess.
Ben and I have got a big one.
We do. We got a
At
40
least
footer.
it take you can't walk off with the thing, but they're pretty tough and thick metal.
They are.
And waterproof.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Just
That
an
or I
idea.
like Jason's idea. He was like,
What was that?
He's buy one of those big vans like Wayne got.
I know. The problem is,
Put all the tools in it and let me drive it to work every day.
well, if you want to drive it, the problem is, see, I don't want to have to drive a
Sounds
big
like a
dually
job.
with a
Sounds like a job for Busley.
yeah.
Yeah, let's just make
is that
Busley
the
into-
name? Is that, did you name
No,
it
it's-
Busley? What is this?
It's not Busley.
I don't know what this
That was
is.
the original owner's name for it, and I don't.
Oh, I
I don't
gotcha.
appreciate that guy. He swindled me. So
Okay. Well, let's get
I
on.
won't call it- I
Forget
won't
the
call
Busley
it
the
that
name
anymore.
was Succubus or Beelzebus. So that's. I can't come up with any better name.
Oh,
Maybe the audience can name it.
I like
We need a-
Beelzebus is nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And so for me, I'm a boat guy, but when I finish it, the name is going to go on the transom.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It'll be like a boat.
You should put a boat motor on the back of it too.
It's gonna say
Trawling motor.
I'll put a propeller on
Yeah.
the hitch. But yeah, I'm in Bryson City, North Carolina.
Beelzebus.
Beelzebus.
I
Jono.
like it. The
Put Jono on the back.
That's true. Yeah. Well, John, if you, I don't know, do you read a lot or listen to more music?
Right now, it depends. I go through spells.
Okay.
Reading for me is therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Music is also therapy, but
And mountain biking.
yeah, I don't mountain bike as much as I'd like to right now.
Yeah.
It's always raining. It has not
Dude.
been one weekend that I can
Amen.
remember this season that it hasn't rained.
Yeah.
So true.
Do you have any recommendations for those listening if they want to get to know something that Jono knows that you know,
Music recommendations.
or books?
I mean,
You told me
music's
about
tough. Music's tough because a lot of music nowadays is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But I like music. I like musicians. I don't really care about the voice or, So for me, like one of my top bands is Humphreys McGee,
yeah.
which
Oh,
I was
yeah.
fortunate enough to meet the band, and they're super good guys. They've been together since college. They're probably my age, but probably one of the best bands I've ever seen live, as far as the realm of what they can play.
Okay.
Like they can play classic, they can play metal, they can play Americana, they can, they'll play about anything. And what they do is, like, a reason why I like live music is because they're not just playing a 4-minute song that you hear on the album. They'll actually, for me, I like to say they'll blow your mind. They'll go into something and they'll play a song for 10 minutes. And
Oh yeah.
these guys they went to school for music.
Right.
So it's not just some college band these guys do to make beer money. So
They do kind of mashups where they'll take 3 or
Yeah.
4 songs and just kind of,
Meld them
mesh
together.
them together
Yeah.
and switch from one to the other. That's pretty cool. I do like them a lot. I never seen them in person though.
They're unbelievable. Eric got me backstage one time.
No
with
way.
His VIP status. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
My brother Eric?
Yeah. Got to meet the band. Got to
What?
sit in VIP. Yeah.
Whoa, I
I
didn't
felt
know.
like royalty.
You
That
must
was
be
awesome.
talking
And then
about
I got to
different
meet
Eric.
the band. I was like, I didn't even like, the selfies were bad. I was like, can I take a picture? And it was like the one guy's half his face. And
Oh, man.
yeah, I was totally fanboying. So,
Well, it's okay.
All right. Well, you gave me that one recommendation for the documentary on the way back from Vegas. I think I watched it.
My octopus teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was good. You should watch that.
I never heard of that. What's it called?
Well, I
my
know.
my
My
octopus,
octopus
teacher.
Yeah.
A guy, I'm not sure where he was at. Pacific Coast somewhere.
Nah, I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Like
I
as far as location, I don't even know if it was
In the
U.S.
state.
based.
No, South Africa.
Anyway,
Yeah.
oh, was it?
It was close.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy goes free diving, and he like runs into an octopus, and then starts free diving every day because I guess he had lost touch with swimming
Yeah.
and just started doing it. And every
Yeah.
day he'd go back and see the same octopus.
Is this a true story?
No, it's a documentary.
Oh,
He
documentary.
goes down and films
Okay.
himself with the octopus. And
It's pretty crazy.
It's sad, but it's very interesting.
It's definitely, if I could spend more time underwater, it's cool. I don't know if you've spent any time like snorkeling or scuba diving or
I've been
anything. but-
snorkeling down in the Florida Keys, like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Well, and it was super cool. I mean, unbelievably cool. Although when you see a fish close to your body size swimming with you, that's kind of freaky.
Right.
I mean, entering the food chain kind of thing. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. It was beautiful. I actually didn't mind it when it was like shallow water,
Yeah.
like 5, 6, 10 feet maybe. But when you're out there, like way 10 feet or 10 miles out at a reef,
Oh man,
that's pretty scary.
yeah, I almost drowned on a reef one time in Jamaica. I was snorkeling, and for me, everybody was just like flapping around on top of the water and swimming around and looking. And so I would dive down and look at the coral, and I started realizing there were red stripe bottles and solo cups all over the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, man.
I started diving down and picking them up, bringing them back to the boat. Just
Yeah.
doing my duty out there. And I reached down for one bottle, and the barracuda came shooting out of the coral, and all it was teeth.
Yikes.
Yeah, and I sucked in the water. It was in my snorkel, and it was like 20 feet to the top. And I was over like choking and could barely get to the surface. It was throwing up
Dude,
to the
that's
top.
scary.
Wow.
But yeah, I think I was the only tourist there to ever pick up trash. Maybe.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. Well, do you have any in our parting method here before we head out into the rain today? Any words of wisdom from Jono for us or for anybody listening?
As far as
That's right.
life advice,
I don't know.
career advice.
Sure.
Anything.
You pick one.
Anything, something to leave everybody with.
I'd say for me, life's too short. Do things that make you happy. If you hate your job, find a job that you want to do. Find a job that you enjoy doing, or find people that you enjoy being around. Because you could have the worst job in the world, but if you're around good people and that are always in good spirit, it really doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be a plumber. But if somebody made you laugh and you had a good time, and somebody didn't make fun of you for throwing up, like, I enjoy going to work because I get to work with these guys. I get to, I enjoy where I live. I hated where I used to live. I hated my job. So,
Yeah.
I think that if you're not happy, like, change it. Like, when I lost my brother, it made me realize how fragile and short life was. And then with the passing of Brock, like, he was young. Yeah. He had a lot ahead of him, and it's gone in an instant. So if you're not happy, change it.
Life is short. That is so true.
Yeah, man. Well, Jono, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
It's really been fun. And I actually learned a lot about you today that I didn't know.
That's good.
Even though we've been hanging out for a long time on the job site, we don't always have time to get into real great deep conversations. Because I'm always like, cut me that board. Hurry. No, actually, I'm not. I'm
No,
like,
you're not.
sorry,
You're
I'm on
on-
the phone.
you're on the phone.
I'm on the phone. Leave me alone. I'm on the phone. But anyway, Jono, I love you, buddy, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you.
Thanks for letting me be a part of your crew.
And I think we're going to wrap it up for today. So with all that, please be curious. And if you don't know, just ask.